Ever wondered how a simple prism can unlock the secrets of light? Have you ever stopped to think about the hidden colors within a seemingly single beam of light? We see the world in vibrant hues, but what if I told you there's more to light than meets the eye? Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of Newton's sectors, a groundbreaking experiment that revealed the composite nature of white light and paved the way for our understanding of color. Before we jump into the sectors themselves, let's rewind a bit. We need to talk about Isaac Newton, the scientific giant whose name is synonymous with gravity. But his contributions extend far beyond apples falling from trees. Newton was a true polymath, delving into optics, mathematics, and even theology. His work on light and color was revolutionary, challenging existing beliefs and laying the foundation for modern optics. For centuries, the prevailing view was that white light was pure and fundamental. Colors were thought to be modifications or additions to this pure white light. Think of it like adding paint to a canvas. You start with white, and then you add colors to create different shades. Newton, however, suspected something different. He believed that white light was actually a mixture of all the colors of the rainbow, hidden within a seemingly unified beam. To prove his theory, Newton conducted a series of elegant experiments. One of the most famous involved a prism. He directed a narrow beam of sunlight through a triangular prism, and what emerged was not what anyone expected. Instead of a simple beam of white light, he saw a beautiful spectrum of colors: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet, spread across the wall. This was the first time anyone had systematically observed the dispersion of white light into its constituent colors. Newton called this band of colors the spectrum, and it was a pivotal moment in the history of science. It demonstrated that white light was not pure, but rather a composite of all the colors of the rainbow. Think of it like a musical chord. A single note might sound simple, but it's actually made up of multiple frequencies played together. Similarly, white light, though seemingly singular, is a blend of all the colors we see. Now, where do the sectors come into play? Newton didn't stop with simply observing the spectrum. He wanted to understand how these colors recombined to form white light again. This is where his ingenious experiment with the rotating disk, now known as Newton's color wheel or Newton's disk, comes in. Imagine a circular disk divided into sectors, like slices of a pie. Newton painted each sector with one of the colors of the spectrum: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. He then mounted this disk on a device that allowed him to spin it rapidly. As the disk spun faster and faster, something remarkable happened. The individual colors began to blur together, and as the speed increased, the disk appeared to become whiter and whiter. This was a crucial demonstration. It showed that by combining the colors of the spectrum in the right proportions, you could recreate white light. It provided further evidence that white light was indeed a mixture of all the colors and not a fundamental entity itself. The rotating disk effectively mixed the colors in our perception, just as the prism had separated them. The sectors on the disk weren't arbitrary. Newton carefully chose the size of each sector to correspond to the relative proportions of each color in the spectrum. This was important because it showed that the composition of white light was not random but followed specific ratios. By adjusting the size of the sectors, Newton could even create different shades of white, demonstrating the subtle variations in the composition of white light. The experiment with Newton's disk wasn't just a visual trick. It had profound implications for our understanding of light and color. It laid the foundation for the development of color theory, color printing, and even photography. Think about how we see colors on our screens. It's all based on the principle of mixing primary colors, which stems directly from Newton's work. Newton's sectors were more than just colored slices on a disk. They represented a paradigm shift in how we understand the nature of light. They challenged existing beliefs, introduced a new way of thinking about color, and ultimately revolutionized the field of optics. His experiments were meticulous, his observations were keen, and his conclusions were groundbreaking. So, the next time you see a rainbow or admire the vibrant colors around you, remember Newton and his prism and his spinning disk. Remember the sectors that revealed the hidden secrets of light. Remember the scientist who dared to question the accepted wisdom and, in doing so, illuminated the world in a whole new light. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.